The Hard Truth with Akosia Konedu, only on Viasat 1.
Brought to you by EcoBank.
The Right to Information Bill has been before Parliament since 2010, with numerous calls from individuals and civil society groups for it to be passed. However, there remain fears that with its slow pace in Parliament, it may yet not be passed. On the other hand, the election 2016 brouhaha continues to rage, with questions on the preparedness of the Electoral Commission to actually hold the elections and whether or not the November 7th date to be passed by Parliament. Honourable George Lowe, Member of Parliament for North Dayi and Vice Chairman for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs, has many opinions on these issues as well as other matters relating to governance. The Hard Truth tonight will seek his views as well as look to what the future holds for him as he leaves Parliament. My name is Nana Akosia Konedu Asante Samuels, and this is The Hard Truth. We are proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Honourable George Lowe is here. He is the MP or parliamentary candidate. He lost anyway. Not to remind you of of you losing, but he is currently the Member of Parliament for North Dayi and ranking member of Parliamentary Select Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs. Welcome to the Hard Truth, sir.
Thank you. In Parliament, my committee is chaired by the majority.
Okay.
So I'm actually vice chairman.
You are the vice chairman. Thank you for the correction, sir.
Normally, when it's ranking, then unless it is Public Accounts Committee and subsidiary legislation, it is the opposition or the minority.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Now, the right to information, sir, is a fundamental human right guaranteed by Ghana's 1992 Constitution and recognized under the International Conventions on Human Rights. I want to ask you that the rights to information bill drafted was to give access to official information held by public and private entities to perform functions in the public funds. Let me ask you, presently, how would you say or how would you define the state of the bill now?
Well, thank you very much. I think the bill has reached a critical stage. That's the consideration stage. So that's what we're going through now, but albeit very slow. But it's receiving some attention, and we're hoping that if it's possible, it will pass.
Why is it taking so much time for Parliament to pass the law?
It's interesting when we just want to think that it's Parliament's simplicity who has delayed the bill. No, the bill had to travel a long way. One of the biggest challenges we have is our structural democratic arrangement in terms of Parliament. 2016, December, if we do not pass this bill, it means that the new Parliament that will come in 2017 will have to start all over again. It will have new members who may be on the committee who are not well informed about what the bill says. So it has. So
by all means, it should be.
It has to be relayed. They will now have to do the clause by clause committee consideration, and it goes through the whole process again. So that has been a challenge from 2010, as you said. It wasn't passed by the Parliament till and we exited in 2012. It hasn't, and now here we are. It's been there for like 12 years, if I understand. And the simple thing is that we know Parliament has been able to finish the whole process and then passing it into law. That is where the challenge really is. It's not about some Parliament's unpreparedness to pass it. You see, it's a very interesting bill. Those of us who have worked closely on the bill are excited about most of the provisions. The people who have not been close to the bill themselves do not understand the philosophy that is behind the bill. It gives a lot of people the jitters. When I talk to people who are not members of the committee and they show some misgivings. Some are afraid that, look, even without right to information, the kind of things people churn out, the kind of things people use state information.
But George, holding public office means one should be ready for public construction or scrutiny. And you, however, believe, as you're saying, that some MPs may not be in full support of it. But in your opinion, as a member of parliament, why is that?
Our current circumstances give you no hope or make you afraid what people will do. Because you see, here is a country
but
where...
But we understand that if like you, an MP, I would want to perhaps say or comment on some of the things you say.
I mean, I have said that as a public figure, there's no question I believe I shouldn't be able to answer. Be it, I mean, after any investigation, or if you have gone to collect... I don't know what information that anybody should collect about me that I shouldn't feel comfortable about to collect. But is everybody like me? No. People take the slightest thing seriously. There are other institutions in there: state security, national security, office of the president, chieftaincy institution, and all these people. They have things, they want to be careful that the opportunity to have information about them in other parts of the world, it's an issue. It's being misused. You see, we must learn to draw the line between privacy and public life. You understand? And it seems that we are not handling that very well.
No. So if
I
am in your position, sir,
yes.
I've been given an amount of money to perhaps use for a certain project. I misuse the money and it comes to the public domain. Everybody chance on it. We start talking about it. It's different from taking my family on a holiday with a certain amount of money. So I'm not sure we criticize when it comes to private matters.
But you see, the tools are there. I sit on the Public Accounts Committee. So if it's accountability, financial accountability, you have a vehicle already that enables everybody to see how you spend state money. That is why we do a public hearing. But you see, when it comes to the right to information bill, I have said that my beef is, do we have even the structures to take care of it? We are creating a commission. How are we going to set up that commission? What is the state of our repositories in this country? What is the state of our centers of documentation in this country? So I have always argued that, look, we may pass the law, but you go out there and you don't find information because nobody even knows where it is. You
said that, yes, but your party, the NDC, promised the passage of the RTI, that's I think 2008, in their manifesto, sir, and then they reaffirmed this position. I think President Mahama said on other platforms that it will be passed. I don't know, but let's look at the failures. Is it that the majority in Parliament want to get the bill passed, or what is it? Well, I am saying that if you get to a place where it must be passed, it will be passed. As I speak to you now, we are at a critical stage where we call the consideration stage. That is the clause-by-clause consideration. And with the clause-by-clause consideration, it's a laborious exercise. It means that if I take a sentence, everybody on the floor of Parliament must either say, I agree that the word there should be there, or it should be is, or we should dot the I, we should cross the T. And that's the laborious process. And that is what, in fact, on the first day that we started the bill, we did one clause. Now I think we are on clause 23 or 24 or something. And you can imagine, over 100 and something clauses. And then we are adding new clauses, the creation of the commission and all those things, which has not even been brought to scrutiny yet, under scrutiny yet. So you understand that we have a long way to go, not because some people do not want to pass it simpliciter, but because it must go through scrutiny, and that's what it's doing. That is what it's doing, and that's how we do for all bills. That's what we do for all bills. Some bills are simple bills that everybody possibly thinks that will let it pass, so we don't have too much of a problem. But where there are bills where people have massive interest, like the right to information bill, you should expect that it will not have a roller
skater on the floor of Parliament. So it is not as simple as everybody sees that, well, it's on the floor of Parliament and we are debating. No, a lot is going into it.
But you realize that maximum disclosure is the overriding principle of any effective right information law. However, some people are of the opinion, sir, that the RTI bill is somehow weak at this point, and it's maximum closure, I want to ask you, sir, upheld throughout the bill. Let me ask you, do we uphold maximum disclosure?
Where you must have the information, you have it. You have as much information.
Aren't you giving us some information and not every information?
Yes, we are not giving out every information.
Why?
Because some informations cannot be given out. Some information cannot be given out. If it's about national security, we are saying that you can get some. And then that is why in every part of the world we have classified information. So when we think that information is classified and you cannot have it, you will not have it.
How would we know?
You will be told.
How would we know
I'm saying that
this information is classified?
One, because the bill serves as a guideline. Two, you will be told, and the bill says when you go there and you apply for any information and they refuse to give you, two things will happen. Two things. You can appeal. If you are not satisfied with the result of the appeal, you can go to court to insist on it. And that, for me, should give room for comfort. The person who says, I cannot give you the information, must give you valid reasons why he cannot, backed by law, and if possible, approved by a court of competent jurisdiction. So that is it. And then, of course, you have the fundamental and omnibus or inherent jurisdiction of the human rights courts. You remember, Occupy Ghana recently went to court to demand for some documentation, and when they were not given, they went to court, and the court ordered that they should be given. So it's not a lost cause at all. We must all be protected as a nation. In contemporary times when the forces are not only internal but external, there are national security information that must be gathered well. So we are saying that yes, some information, you either wait till it comes out officially and then you challenge it, or that will not give you at all because you don't need it.
We'll be right back.
The Hard Truth with Akosia Konedu, only on Vice at 1.
Brought to you by EcoBank. EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries, it's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure, while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
Welcome back. You still watching The Hard Truth. We are proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Honorable George Lowe, Member of Parliament, North Dayi constituency, and Vice Chairman, Parliamentary Select Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs. Sir, many Ghanaians seems to have taken it for granted that the change of the date for the election from 7th December to November 7th is more or less a done deal. However, you realize that back in May 2016, Deputy Minority Leader Dominic Nitiwu suggested that the minority could block the move. Quite recently, I think Malik Kwekubako also predicted that the NPP is set to destroy any consensus that it's likely to be passed by Parliament. Let me ask you, sir, in the background of this, do you foresee the minority frustrating the passage of the constitutional instrument?
Well, foresee, I'll say no. Possible, I'll say yes.
Why is that?
Now, let me tell you. You see, the way Parliament works, at the beginning of every bill, everything we do, we try to build consensus. So leadership comes together and looks at it and decides that, no, we'll let it pass. If the minority have any issues they feel strongly about, at that point they discuss it at the level of the very top leadership of Parliament. In actual fact, you will find out that sometimes when we are doing bills, we ask that leadership to go and meet over some clause and come back, and then we agree. So in this one, I know that they are talking. In actual fact, today, we were supposed to have taken the second reading, but what has happened is that the minority leader says the majority leader is not available and they should have met. And since they haven't met to discuss, we postpone it tomorrow.
Okay.
So it tells you that at that level, we are building consensus. But this is very delicate, and that's why I said it's possible that they can block it. Because we need 2/3 majority of members of Parliament to pass. Now, on our side, we don't have 2/3. No side of the House has 2/3. So even where you whip in everybody from one side, and the other side decides that they are also whipping everybody against, you don't get it. It won't work. And to even make it more interesting, this is by secret ballot. It is not by a voice vote or a voice count or a head count, by secret ballot. So when it's secret ballot, yes, you can whip, but it may be a little, if somebody wants to be mischievous, he may be able to slip through the whip. And when that happens, then you are comfortable. So what we are doing, I believe our leadership will be doing is that they'll be talking to both sides to see if they can get all of us on the same side. Then by that, is either unanimous or we'll vote and then majority will carry.
And you also believe that the EC's litigation in court is, its conduct and that of the chairperson is likely to contribute to MPPs voting against the approval of the change of the date?
Well, I find that very interesting because I don't see how the EC's litigation in court should have anything to do with the votes that we take in Parliament. And, well, some people like her posture, others don't like her posture.
So in case it doesn't happen, in case you don't get that 2/3, what happens?
So that the bill is not passed, and so we revert to December 7th.
With just about 3 months to go, some political parties and civil society groups still believe that the Electoral Commission is not ready for the election. What's your view? Are they ready?
It's the EC who can tell you that it's ready or not. No other person can tell me. And to the extent that the EC chair has been consistent saying that we are ready, that all our programs are geared towards November 7th, and that everything is on course. I have no cause to doubt her.
But
other people
are
have
the
raised
political parties ready? Are the political parties ready?
I haven't also heard them say they are ready or not. The NDC says they are ready, at least when we had a public forum. Others are saying, no, we don't mind November 7th, but why don't you pass the law and make it effective next year? That's not possible. I believe that since 2006, we've been talking about these things. So everybody by now should hold themselves readiness to do November 7th.
Do you think there is a slow pace when it comes to campaigning and things on election? How do you, let's just compare 2008, 2012 and now, from campaign period through to the election. What has changed now?
Yeah, I think that you are right, and I'll be the first to admit that we feel there's some lethargic approach, and I think that is for a good reason.
Why?
I think that political parties have learned their lessons. People are beginning to realize that elections are people-centered things, and that then billboards do not translate into votes necessarily. The large rallies do not translate into votes. So they will rather...
But there will be some form of rallies.
Yeah, there would be. But what is happening is, I am fascinated when I sit back and I get information across the country that, hey, Charlie, these people are doing house to house. Oh. These people, Charlie, they've deployed their foot soldiers. And I think that is the new thinking. Ever since Professor Mills, God bless his soul, talked about house to house, and we laughed at him. It translated into winning an election. So now everybody realizes that you need to get to the base, get to the people. One-on-one contact is more effective than doing all the big things. So people are now, I'm sure, being more ingenious and thinking out of the box when it comes to. And then, of course, we must also admit that people think that resources must now be channeled into more useful things. I can assure you, though, that when the parties, I think Parkway Sindum launched his campaign last week. I think that we are beginning to see some activity. The NDC is waiting to launch their campaign. I believe that after that, it's going to pick up.
Again, George, the ECD decided to run the re-registration of deleted NHIS registrants concurrently with the exhibition exercise beginning, I think, last Monday or 18th July. While the re-registration will end somewhere in 28th of July, the exhibition continues in August. Do you think that it was a prudent on the part of EC to run these two exercises at the same time?
Well, I think indeed yes. I think that looking at time constraints and looking at resource constraints, I think it was the best thing to do. It makes life more easier, because if you identify, yes, if you identify that, look, my name has been taken out, we'll go and re-register. So really, I think that they are killing
two birds with
one
stone.
So I wanted to be very careful with that. Let alone I say something else. But so I think that to the extent that they are doing it well, and that we are not hearing that much reports.
Well, we are, but that's much. Yeah,
yes,
that's very good.
I think that it's fair.
We'll be right back.
The Hard Truth with Akosia Konedu, only on Vice at 1.
Brought to you by EcoBank. At EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries. It's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure, while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
Welcome back. You still watching The Hard Truth. We are proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. MP North Dayi George Lowe. It's here. George, the Public Accounts Committee has urged the, Ghana Railway Company to retrieve 1.5 million Ghana cedis stolen by a former cashier. And you said that is an indictment on the people working at the Ministry of Transport. I want to ask you, does this scenario represent the inefficiency, that exists in some of the government agencies?
Yes, I think that I have never been enthused about the kind of answers we get when audit queries are raised. And sometimes you get a feeling that it's all child's play. This is an organization that is riddled with debt. They can't even pay the workers. And yet one person can go off. And sometimes when you ask, oh, we are trying to find him, we don't know where. As though, there are no security agencies in this country, or that nothing works. These same people, like I keep asking the managing director, I said, look, if you had 1.5 million cedis of your money stolen, I'm sure you go to every extent to ensure that is retrieved. And yet, because it's government money, nobody seems to care. And across board, day in, day out, you sit over audit reports. Sometimes the things you hear anger you. And I think that it's something we must all watch.
Is it okay, let me ask you, is it okay to just have a committee that looks into public issues and then nothing happens? Is it okay?
Is it okay? No, it is not okay. None of us are satisfied with that. But you should also understand that we have a constitution we work with. And the Constitution clearly defines everybody's role in this whole continuum of public accountability. To the extent that even civil society organizations should get involved. The media has a role to play. Parliament's role is to look at audited accounts and ask hard questions where they are not satisfied. Then the executive's role, led by the AG, is to look through our recommendation and prosecute. The judiciary's role is to ensure that the platform for prosecution happens. Thankfully, the Chief Justice has now set up courts to prosecute people from public accounts who have been, from the recommendation of the public accounts. We are waiting to see prosecution. But let me qualify that by saying that some prosecutions have happened. But we are not satisfied. We are not satisfied with the work of even the police sometimes. Because they get a report and 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years down the line, they tell you they are still investigating. I mean, it's not exciting. So until and unless all the three arms of government collaborate effectively, we don't get far. What we were trying to do, but for the challenges we have now in terms of time, was to do a follow-up hearing. So maybe the next parliament, when they come, they should explore that avenue, even before we start sitting on new reports. We want to know what has been done to those that we recommended. And we want to bring in the IGP, we want to bring in Attorney General to face the cameras and tell Ghanaians how they've handled those reports that we have produced. Because it's key. Without getting to the base of it all, we'll continue to have these
inefficiencies.
Yes. And then sometimes you have too many laws also governing the financial sector. It makes all things very, very, very murky.
You are an MP under the ticket of the NDC. Yeah. Give me 3 reasons. Why should Ghana vote for the NDC in 2016?
2016, the NDC, I'm sure that had demonstrated that Ghana can be great. Demonstrated that by, first and foremost, the vision that we are carrying today. You are seeing monumental transformation in health, in education, in roads and transport. We are trying to modernize the economy.
You know, it's good to have roads, it's good to have hospitals. Yes, we need good hospitals, but does it end there?
Well, it doesn't end there. That is the more reason why NDC says, give us another chance. Because out of these things that we are doing. You said that the last time,
yeah,
out of these things that we are doing.
Aren't we all complain? I'm sure you complain every day.
I'm saying that out of these things that we're doing, the results will be money in your pocket. The results will be jobs for our citizens. The results will be a better Ghana. The result is that we are investing in people. Expanding education means that many more people get opportunity to be educated. Expanding healthcare means that you may not even have to travel outside of this country to get the best of healthcare. And you should see the kind of healthcare facilities that are coming up. Go to Legon and look at the new medical center. Go to Accra Regional Hospital, formerly Rich Hospital, and see what is coming up. Go to Tema, you see the Maritime Hospital. There are new district hospital. Go to Dodowa, we've just commissioned one in the Ashanti region, in the East, all over the country, just so that healthcare becomes solid. And then once we do these things, many more teachers will be employed because we are building all these fantastic.
And it's all talk and no action.
No,
finally.
No,
all talk, no action.
No, because when you put the structures there, teachers must teach, so more jobs. The hospitals means that more nurses, more health assistants, more doctors. All the factories that we are putting up will mean that more factory hands, more engineers, more. So everything has a way of translating. So
for more jobs, more money in our pocket, and for a better Ghana, we should vote the NDC.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much for talking to the hard truth. George Lowe, Honorable George Lowe, Member of Parliament, not Dayi. Is it not Dayi?
Actually, it's North Dayi. But I know that people have challenges with the pronunciation.
North
Dayi is the name of a river.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why I have South Dayi.
Okay.
South of the Dayi, and then you have North of the Dayi.
All right. So he's an MP, North Dayi constituency, and the Vice Chairman, Parliamentary Select Committee on Constitutional and Legal Affairs. And you've been watching The Hard Truth. We are proudly brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. My name is Nana Akusia Asante Samuels. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
The Hard Truth with Akosia Konedu, only on Vice at 1.
Brought to you by EcoBank.